Hello everyone, this is Johannes.
And this is Cinema.
And you are watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
And welcome to another Topical Ramblings video. Today we're talking about box sizes.
Yeah, the last one was about the ratings, and that one was a bit more like structured, and it was kind of like, this is what we think.
Yes.
And it's also going to be like, this is what we think, but it's not going to be, we don't have an answer. Like, it's not going to be like, you cannot watch this and be like, okay, that's how it's supposed to be.
No.
These are just our ramblings about what we think about all these boxes and the sizes of them.
Yeah, and these are just our personal opinions.
Obviously, we have not been paid to say anything
Nope.
about these games. Like, this is the perfect game, you have to buy it now, and we get
10
rich.
copies of it, please.
Yes. Yeah, it's obviously our own opinions. We haven't bought them from anybody. So basically, the thing is, like, when we wanted to do topics, one of the first things I thought about was board game box sizes.
Yeah.
Because this is a thing that people have been talking about for a long time. Yes. And actually, if you somehow on the internet find the old podcast called Board Gaming Ramblings, I actually did an episode there. That was long before you started doing the show. I did an episode with, what was his name again? I do not remember his name right now because I'm horrible at names. We did an episode about board game box sizes. You can actually go back and listen to that. If it's somewhere on the internet, I do not know.
I didn't know that.
It probably is somewhere on the internet because that's how the internet works.
Yes.
But the thing is that box sizes engages people. Like, people are like, oh, it is so big. Why is this so small? Mostly why it is so big.
The big, yeah.
It's not often you hear like, why is this box so small?
And we feel like since we started gaming, this has been more and more of like an issue to people because as we feel like board game boxes are in general getting a little bigger. The standard box sizes are now growing a little bit in size, so there's bigger games maybe in the stores now than when we started gaming.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree completely on that, but like most games in the store are still these boxes, but they might be too big. That is another thing. But the thing is, like, the biggest reason for gamers to actually care about board game box sizes is because we have shelves.
Yes.
And they need to be filled with games. And if the shelf is full, you can either discard games, not discard them, but give them away or sell the games, or you can get a new shelf, and that is like the two options. But the thing is then, like, how do we fit this into a shelf? This is 3 of this game. Like, how do we fit that? Why should I keep this big one if I can also keep the small one? Like, that is
other ones,
that is some things that we wanted to talk about in this video, because like even we have a quite big collection. We have around 700 games or something, and we still sell quite a few games. And right now we actually have some shelf space, but
not for long.
Not for long, and it's hard to, and especially I know a lot of people, and this is not like, I know it is a case for many people that they want to keep it to like 50 games to 100 games, maybe to a shelf, and especially when you have that kind of shelf space that you have decided this is the shelf space we have, and we kind of are at the point now where maybe we'll get one more, and then we are like, this is the space.
This is the space,
and then also we need to think about, okay, is this game good enough to keep? And so these are the things, like, this is a long intro, but these are kind of like, this is going to be a rambling video because we maybe have like planned some points.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a rambling video. So let's start with some of the points.
Yes.
Let's talk a bit about why games are the size they are, why we think they are the size they are.
One of the obvious reasons for games to be actually big, so they are visible, is shelf appearance. They want to make money on their games, and then people have to see the games to buy them. So that is one of the reasons that games can be a little bit bigger, so that people will buy them.
Yeah, and this is a psychological thing, and it's like a thing you know about, so we're not going to spend a lot of time talking about this, but this is like the main reason why games are bigger than they need to be. Let's take, for example, Heaven and Ale that you have over there. Like, this is a standard
size, yeah.
It is standard size, and it could have been a lot smaller. This also had the expansion in it, but this is like half full, and this is with the expansion. And as you see, like, the reason, of course, is that there is a board. So there's 2 reasons, basically, for this,
you could fold the board.
This box to be. Yeah, but it's already folded, so you have to have, like, a fold,
fold.
and it would be pretty high. That is like the problem with folding boards more, is that it will be higher or like deeper, is what it's called, deeper. And then the box might not be deep enough. So that is like the 2 big reasons why they are this size. And for me, I do not mind this size of games. There are 2 sizes of games that I actually enjoy, and that is this square and the rectangular size
Yes.
of boxes. So what do you think about those? Like, would you have liked this to be smaller?
If this could fit
Under your bed.
in a smaller standard size, I really love what Garfield Games has done with Paladins of the West Kingdom and the other games in their collection.
Like all the games from Garfield.
And they have made kind of their own standard size. So if you could fit them into another standard size that is smaller, I would have liked it. But if it was, and we're going into standard sizes now, if this would be then it's smaller but in a weird size that didn't match any other games, I would not like it.
So would you rather this box size be this instead?
Yeah.
How much would that change? Like this is a curious question for me because I'm not sure if I agree. But how much would that change the shelf? Like it's not that it doesn't take that much less space in the shelf.
No, but this is more on the size of books, so people could maybe buy bookshelf and still fit this.
Yeah.
You can't do it with this, or you have it's bigger books. Also,
Yeah.
you get the point. But I don't want to go and in compromise on gameplay here.
No.
So
or make like the board super awkward.
Yeah, so you have to. You try it out when you make a game, I presume, to
And
try. To
that
find
is-
a logical solution.
And that is the hard thing because that is like it's very hard. This is just guesswork. It's very hard for publishers, I would think, to decide. I just have things to say about this. And it would be like hard for them to decide the box size.
Yeah.
But for example, for this, they were. I think Garfield have obviously trying to make them smaller. And then we of course have like the environmental thing as well.
Yes.
Because this is less cardboard for the box. Because board games are not like the most environmental thing in the world. It's better than driving cars or going on airplanes
Or
to
eating bad
the
things.
world.
Yes. Yeah.
But then the thing is that it's a bit more environmental and environmental. That's the word I was looking for. And also the fact that to say depending on how much of a difference this is for your shelf, depends on the shelf you have.
Yeah.
Like if you have a Kallax, it's not a big difference because this fits this.
Yeah.
But if you have a shelf that you can change the sizes for,
Yes.
this is better. So you can actually.
And this is packed.
Yeah,
In
this is-
here,
yeah.
it doesn't have any more room. This
This
is
is-
very efficient
This is that
stacking.
full. Like this is that full.
Yes.
And Classic Caledonia is another one which just has a perfect box.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's just like it's perfectly fitted. And then we
That
come
is
to-
not a standard size, though.
No, this isn't either.
No.
Like, and then we come to that. Like, would you, like you personally, would you rather have let's say we could make like 5 different boxes, or maybe like 10 even, because we now have like 200 different box sizes. Let's say we could make 10 box sizes that were the only ones that they made.
Yeah.
So when you went to publish a game, you choose, I want this box size, and then even people could then
Like
make...
sheets of paper, like A1, A2, A3.
Yeah, that's what we call it in Europe. I don't think it's called like in
It
the
is.
US. But,
Sorry,
but
US people.
Yes, I think it's different. Probably someone already writing in the comments like, it's called this.
Yeah.
But would you rather then have that?
Yes.
But then you would end up having games that would be in a too big box. So let's say, for example, a game is just too big for one size, then they had to go up one size. But if you have 10 sizes, maybe the sizes aren't that different.
Yeah, because I would like, that would be my perfect world if there were, for example, 10 standard sizes. So I could get a smaller game, but it would still like match the other games in my collection. Because otherwise stacking is a little hard and it looks kind of ugly. So I would like that. But then, if there are too few standard sizes to choose from, you would get that.
Yeah.
That, it doesn't fit this tiny one, then we have to go to the bigger one and get lots of room.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then again, like if you go over 10, like if you are in a 10, 15, 21, or 15, 20 different box sizes, then we are not to where we are now, but like almost. So I'm like I don't have like a definitive answer here because... For example, Mysterium Park.
Yep.
This might have been that because this is like a rectangular small box. This might have been like one of the normal sizes. But I like boxes that fit the game.
Oh yeah.
And this one
fits
the game
perfectly.
perfectly. You can go and see the review we did. We showed off the insert here.
Yes.
So then would you rather, like that's a thought experiment. Like would you rather this be a slightly bigger box, let's say like this, because that was the standard sizes, or would you want it to be perfect?
Well, that is a good question. You can change some of the layouts in the components of this game to make it fit a little bit bigger box and also a smaller box. If I'm being like picky.
So what you're saying now is that you would have liked there to be a set number of boxes, and then they had to design their components out from those boxes.
Yeah, kinda.
Okay, that's interesting.
Not going on the compromise of like,
the board is not this big.
Yeah, but you have to read, and also
magnifying glass.
So I think that I would love that if that were possible. I'm not the designer or publisher myself, obviously. A lot of people watching this are just like making games themselves and just like, that is not possible. You can't do that. I don't know. Tell me why.
Well, yeah, but like that's another topic. But then again, we have like not going to go into that because that might be something else. But we also have the same problem with card sizes.
Yeah.
And we have with card boxes.
Yes.
Like there are 700 different card sizes, which is horrible for people who sleeve cards, which we don't.
Yes.
But let's not talk about that now. But that's kind of like, then you would also end up having like a standard card size. Because you would need to have it in the standard box.
Maybe.
So is that what, like in your perfect world, that's what you wanted, but that's not how it is.
No. What do you want though?
This is very hard for me because there's so many reasons for different box sizes.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan, like the look of these square boxes, if you can just put them over to the side.
Yep.
The look of these square boxes when they are in a line on the shelf is very nice.
Yeah.
And it would have been the same with Paladins, for example, like that size boxes. And it would have been the same with that. So the thing is that I might agree with you on most of those points because it looks better on the shelf. And then you have like the look, like for example, we have a big shelf upstairs. That one looks pretty neat because it has almost only these and the rectangular sizes. But then we have a shelf in here, which is just
super messy.
Just doesn't look good at all.
All over the place.
So hard to find any games because
you've looked at that shelf. If you've seen the Every Game in the Collection videos.
Stand like this, stand like this, and upside down. That doesn't really matter.
But speaking of cards and sleeves and expansions, I'm going there. Because people are buying expansions and bling up their game and sleeve their cards. So maybe you want the game to fit that as well. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that is a very interesting discussion because many people, like I do not have any numbers, but we know that an expansion sells a lot less copies than the base game. So, and we don't buy a lot of expansions.
Nope.
And I think like the last one I had a horrible time filling in the box was like the Clinic Deluxe Edition. Then we bought it in a Kickstarter and we got the expansion with 13 different modules. We have played 0. And I actually got them all into the box. But now the box is crammed full of stuff. And that is awesome. That is great. But it's a very interesting discussion actually because you end up then, if you have a game, especially from Kickstarter, that comes with expansions. And then they have made a box to fit those expansions in. So then you end up with Imperial, for example. You end up with this. This is, as I already showed, this is 3. I think it's exactly 3 of these quadruple boxes, like a square box. And if you don't have the expansion, 1/3 of this is an empty cardboard box.
Yeah, this is huge. This is a monster.
Great, yeah. So then we come to that point, like it's two-sided. One side is like, if I personally would have liked then to have this 2/3 of the size. And then if I bought the expansion, I can have that box. Because this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, because we have another side of this as well. It's Quadropolis, because this is a perfect box for the base game. It's so neat. It has a really nice insert. You can show it off to people.
If you have not
Look at this magic. So easy to set up. It's just perfect. And then we bought the expansion.
It's a mini expansion, super small expansion.
It's so nice, but we can't fit it.
It doesn't fit anywhere. Like I'm trying to put it in.
And I don't want to discard the insert because it's a very nice insert. So.
And I have seen there's like a couple of ways to go around it. But and these are just some tiles.
Yeah, I would have it like this, if I'm honest. But I would really like to fit it inside though, because this is an awkward size box.
And why do I want to have that box? Like, it's a very small box.
It's so tiny. So if it's talking about such a little expansion, I would like it to have room for it. Like, it's maybe one of these empty. I don't know.
So the question is that if they had thought about the expansion before they made the game, which they probably had, and it's a small one, so maybe they could have done something for that. But then, like, I'm unsure what I feel here, because
I agree.
Sometimes when there's not an insert, most of the time you can
look at this insert on the little box.
It's an FFG insert.
Yeah, it is.
But you know, like when you
tiny.
When you get a game and there are some more space in it.
Yeah.
And most games don't have inserts, so you just throw away the cardboard and you put things in Ziploc bags or in geek boxes or whatever you want to put them in.
Yeah.
And then there is more room in the box. And then that is fine. And then you also have the great thing. This is another what is it called?
Environmental.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yes.
Environment. It's another thing that, for example, I know Total Games does.
Yeah.
Their expansion, for example, for Detective comes in a very flimsy box.
Oh yeah.
Because it's not meant. It's not heavy cardboard. Go check out Heavy Cardboard. It's a good channel. But it's like it is just meant to open up, take out the cards, and throw away the box. And that is not a great thing.
Yes.
So I think that's like, it's, again, we're not coming to conclusions here, but for me, I think that expansions in most games are easy to fit, because most games don't have inserts, so you just put something into the box and you have more space for it. So sometimes I agree and sometimes I don't agree.
Yeah, it's depending on how big the expansion is, how much room you need for it. So like in Imperial, you need like a standard box size to fit the expansion. Then I think that should be a big box size. Because if I don't need the expansion, then it's just like I could fit more and more game here.
So you mean it shouldn't have been this big?
Yeah, no, yep. But if the expansion was smaller, so that it was like maybe this much bigger than it needed to be, then I would like to have space for it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's very like, this is going to be a video in which we don't really have any conclusions, because it's very hard to answer anything. Like, it's very hard to, we want this, but we also want this, and we want this, and I agree with that. Like, I agree with everything. But we talked a bit about shelf appeal and the psychological, psychology about getting like the seeing on the shelf, and then like we have that. We almost talked about it here.
Yes.
But does a game need to be better when it's bigger?
Oh yeah.
So let's talk about the other way. Let's talk about this one, for example. This one, the smallest box ever. If you saw this on the shelf, you wouldn't know it was a game.
It's
you would
so tiny.
never pick it up. Maybe because like, oh, what is this eye thing, if you saw it somewhere on the shelf. But this is not a game that is, this is Oink games. All the games are this size. And this is not shelf appeal. This is not, you're not gonna go on like, oh, this looks amazing because of this box.
No, but I get more impressed psychologically.
And that's so interesting, because
when it's a good game in such a small box, I'm just like, oh, I didn't see that coming. Such a small box, and it's really good.
And that makes no sense.
What is that?
And it makes no
Why
sense.
do I think that? It's really weird.
So the game would have been as the same game, and it would have been as good in here, but I would probably just be annoyed that it was in here.
Yeah.
So, for example, if we got inside the Roads and Boat box.
This is a horrible box size. What is this? It's impossible to stack anywhere. You have to have this lying down.
What would you have thought if you opened this and it was inside your
I would laugh. I would laugh, and I would throw away the box and put this in a Ziploc bagging.
Yes. Because this is like, I don't have much to say about this other than horrible box, but it need to be this size because it has a big sheet of plastic in it.
Well, you could do stuff differently, but we're not here to discuss this game specifically. This is just an example on a weird box size.
I really wanted to show it basically, because this is another one, as you said, it just has to lay on top of other games in the shelf, because it's also a bit flimsy because it's splotter. They don't do components. So this is not a prototype. It's huge and it's full of bits. So Yes. What
Kickstarter.
else? Yeah.
Yes. So you can argue that because of internet and Kickstarter,
You know, the internet, this new thing.
people don't buy as many games in physical stores. People are shopping more online is the right term to use, and then shelf appearance doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but I think like where we live, that's true.
Yeah.
I think in the US, and I see on board game groups, many people shop in their
And we
local
like that.
GameStop.
I'm positive about
Not
that.
GameStop, but the local game stores.
But
And
if all publishers were aiming for smaller box sizes, you would still get self-appearance because all of the games would be smaller.
Yeah.
Like if DVDs, like people who made DVDs was like, oh, I need to sell my DVD. Let's make the cover
This
bigger.
big.
Then we would, yeah, you get my point.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know that's kind of strange. Like why do we agree on board games? Obviously, it's not just a disc, so it has to be different sizes. But we already talked a little bit about that. But yeah, Kickstarter has made boxes bigger.
Yeah.
And also you end up getting 16 expansions and then we come to like, I'm not going to go deeply into that because we're going to talk about Kickstarter another time.
Yeah.
So the last thing I think is then I ask, do a bigger game need to be better? And when I say bigger, I also mean like, for example, now we have Tainted Grail, that's 3 boxes. We have Rising Sun, that's 2 boxes. I know we don't like the game, but that's another thing. but do you feel like a bigger game, like Imperial, is it harder for you to keep this than Quadropolis?
Yes. Yes, it is. If I love a game, I don't care about box sizes.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep it.
Yeah.
But if I don't love the game, if the game is bigger, I would more easily get rid of it if it was a smaller game, because I think like, it doesn't take that much space.
Yes.
It just fits perfectly in here. If it's a big clunky board game, I would say, don't like it that much.
Yeah.
I would rather keep 3 good games.
Yeah, and I agree on that. And that is kind of like I think that's kind of the bottom line here. That the games need to, somehow we would have loved them to be in the same box sizes. But they need to fit, of course. But the smaller games are easier for gamers to keep, I think. Like, for example, I will never get rid of Insider. Like, even though I do like the game a lot, but it's not like when I play a lot, but it's so small. Like, it's not like, we need to get some more room in the shelf. Let's sell Insider. And now we have room for Imperial.
Nope.
For nothing.
And for people that have smaller collections than we have a big collection.
Yes.
Sometimes I'm just like, why is this a small box? I completely forget that it exists because it's so small.
Yeah.
So I can't see it on my shelf. But normal people don't have that issue. So I would, and also we're going to Essen. In normal times, we're doing that.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to go there again, and then fitting these big boxes and looking inside a box we just punched and be like, there's so much room here.
But what we do then is that we buy smaller games and put them inside.
Just a side railing a little bit.
No, but that's like, it's another way like traveling with the games, but that's not like normal people do that a lot, like 4 suitcases of games. That's not normal. Hopefully it will be normal for us soon.
Doesn't everyone do that?
I'm looking forward to that.
No, but bottom line for me, I want some more standard sizes so that publishers will aim more to fit their games into the sizes that are available, and also then choose a size that fits the component in the best way possible. And I don't mean then that the game companies then should be like, this card has to be so big, so we then get to upgrade to a bigger box. I can see a loophole in the system. Well, that would be my ideal gaming world, I think.
Yeah,
yes.
and those are some of our thoughts on board game boxes. I think we could have talked about this a lot longer.
Yeah.
And let us know your thoughts. What do you think about big boxes? What do you think about small boxes? Would you enjoy if we made a standard like 10, 15 box sizes that were the standard boxes? What do you think about box sizes? Let us know in the comments. And that is the end of this topical rambling. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Johannes.
I'm Sunniva.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings. And bye-bye.